Good morning, class. So I wanted to give you your assignment number two. Assignment number two, you're going to turn it in to Miss Garcia. If you don't finish it in class, and you should do it for homework and turn it in by tomorrow. Tomorrow should be Wednesday, January 13th. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and put your name, date, period. Go ahead and title this assignment number two. And this is part of a continuation of yesterday's notes. The two videos that you were supposed to watch, which was a part one and a part two of notes number one. Okay, so part one looks like this, right? I gave you some basic notes on what you are going to do, which is the key characteristics for a for an absolute value function. We did a warm-up, and then I gave you some information about the parent function, and we learned the key characteristics. And then in the second video, you did a couple of practice problems, which was to identify the key characteristics of each one. We did number one together. Then I gave you a hint for number two, which you're supposed to do on your own. When I check your notes, I want number two completed. Number three, if you have questions on number two, this is what you would send me questions about, either through Remind or through YouTube, or you ask Miss Garcia to help you on that. Or you can ask your group or your partner or whoever. Okay, number three, it cut me off when I was in the middle of number three. Well, not in the middle, but at the end of number three. So one of the things that I wanted to show you is that it is not symmetric about the y-axis. If I take the side that's on the right side of the y-axis, this is my y-axis, and I flip it over to this side, which is just that little piece right there, it would not lay on top of the left side. So they're not symmetric. They look completely different from one side to the other. So if it was cut straight through the vertex, then yes, it would be symmetric about the vertex, or if that was the y-axis in this case, then it would be symmetric, but it's not. So there's no symmetry about the y-axis, and there's definitely no symmetry about the x-axis. So it is not symmetric. And then the very last thing to describe the transformation was that it reflected over the x-axis. So instead of facing up like the parent function, the parent function looks like this, it ended up flipping over the x-axis, so pointing down. So instead of a V, now it's like a upside down V. And then it shifted, it moved from 0, 0 to 0, -2. So we're going to write that reflection over the x-axis, and I kind of ran out of space. Hopefully you didn't run out of space. If you did, just, I don't know, find a solution. Okay, so reflection over the x-axis and horizontal shift 2 units to the left. So it's horizontal 2 and then left. It's a reflection over the x-axis. And that's it. Okay, so those are 2 examples for you, plus the parent function that I gave you. These are your 2 notes. So I expect you to have a part 1 and a part 2 for your notes. And then what you're going to turn into me is your assignment number 2. Assignment number 2 is asking you the same thing. Okay, it's like an exit slip for these notes. You need to tell me for the function negative absolute value of x plus 2, give me the vertex. Tell me if it's maximum or minimum. Give me the domain written in the 2 different forms, set notation and interval notation, inequality notation. The range, tell me if it's concave up or concave down. Give me the x and y intercept. Tell me if it's symmetric about the x-axis or the y-axis. And then is it symmetric, yes or no? And at the very end, you're going to give me the transformations from the parent function. Don't forget your table and showing all your step-by-step, like give me all your steps, I guess, to get your table, graph your function. And I also want you to give me a summary, okay? Summarize what you learned in today's lesson. Explain how to find the key characteristics of an absolute value function. So I'm going to change this. The first one's going to be the exit slip. The second part's going to be the summary. I really only need, like, I don't know, 3 to 5 sentences. And then at the very end, so if you need to pause this and copy all this down, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. My question for you is, did you watch part 1 of the notes number 1 video? Did you watch part 2 of the notes number 1 video? Go ahead and write down any questions you may have. You can send them to me through Remind or Ask Miss Garcia or whatever it is that you need to do, okay? And a continuation, so you have assignment 2. This is number 1. You got your exit slip, your summary, and then here's your homework. Solve. I guess determine would be better. Or state, domain and range. Okay, so go ahead and write these problems on your paper, and I want you to give me the domain and range for each one. Number 1 is negative absolute value of x minus 4 plus 2. Okay, when you do this, remember you can use Desmos calculator if you have internet at home or even on your phone. You go to Google. My internet's really slow, but I think it's because I'm recording and I'm uploading, and so you're going to put Desmos graphing calculator, and you can graph the absolute value function here. So I'm going to graph negative, what is it? Negative absolute value of x plus 4. Okay, so I'm going to put negative absolute value, it's the one with a little a, x minus, and it starts graphing it for you already, minus 4, so it's shifted from the parent function at the origin 4 units to the right. It is facing down, and then plus 2. So it's shifted up 2 units. And there's your function, okay? How would you tell me, what would you say is the domain for this function? If you notice, the more I zoom out, my function keeps going forever to the left and forever to the right. So that means my domain, or my possible x values, are going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. And then my range is dependent on my vertex. My vertex is at 4, 2. So my y-coordinate of my vertex is 2. It's going from 2 and it's pointing down, so it's concave down. So it's from 2 to negative infinity. We don't write it like that. We write the smaller number first. So your final answer is going to be domain is negative infinity to positive infinity, or all x values between negative infinity and positive infinity. And then your range is going to be from negative infinity to 2. Parentheses on the negative infinity, brackets on the 2. Negative infinity, we're talking about the y values, not the x, for the range. And all the y values that are greater than negative infinity, but less than or equal to positive 2. Okay, so that's what I want you to do for each problem. I'm about to show you the problems. You can pause it. It's 6 problems total. I need you to do this practice as an assignment and homework if you don't finish in class. Here are the problems. Okay, thank you for copying that down. Thank you for watching the videos. I hope this is helping. We're going to keep trying it this way, and we'll hope to see you guys soon. Bye!